Hello, bridge builders! I'm here with some exciting news. The first volume of interviews is now available on Amazon.com. The link can be found at eatlunchandboardgame.com. I promise that all proceeds from sales of this book will go right back into this podcast and channel. Whether that is new and better audio equipment for the podcast, or video equipment for the YouTube channel, or even more games to review, the money will not be wasted. Click over to Amazon and get your copy of Eat Lunch and Board Game, the first course today. And thank you for supporting the show. My wife and I have watched the Godfather trilogy 2 times in the past 2 years. There's a long and funny story behind why, but I will not bore you with it. Anyway, when I heard about a new Godfather game as an ad banner on Board Game Geek, I clicked over to Target.com and immediately bought the game. I figured it would be an easy sell to get her to play, as it is never a hard sell to get the son to play a new game. I did absolutely no investigative work on the game. Nothing. Zip. Zilch. Nada. Completely out of character for me. Had I looked into it at all, I would have seen that it was designed by Erica Buyeris, the designer behind the beautiful game Bosk and many more games. I would have been even more confident in my random Target purchase. As luck would have it, The Godfather: Last Family Standing arrived just in time for a vacation we were taking, and the small box fit nicely into my luggage. Welcome back to Eat Lunch and Board Game. I'm your host, Adam Collins, and today we're going to look at The Godfather: Last Family Standing. Let's take a look at the rule clarity. The rules sheet contains one long 8-page foldout, 6 of which contain rules, but only 5 if you subtract the reference page for the iconography. They are broken down into sections that explains each component of the game. The rules then are quite clear. Time to explain to newcomers. The Godfather: Last Family Standing takes about 10 minutes to explain to newcomers. You can teach it while setting it up, and then going over the board, the family cards, and the tokens. That's all there is to this simple yet entertaining game. Gameplay. To set up, each player selects a color, taking the rows, the 4 family cards of matching color, a player board, and 5 orange tokens to place as health counters. Each player places a Family Man card on the board. Shuffle the 56 hit cards and deal 5 to each player. The rest are placed in the middle to form a draw pile. Place the extra shot tokens next to the draw pile for easy access by each player. On a turn, the active player may take actions for each family card on their board. The actions are draw or play a card from your hand, then target a player's family card. You must tell the player which card you are targeting. And then lastly, reset. If you have 2 family members on your board, you get to do this sequence twice. To reset at the end of your turn, you can play extra shot cards to gain extra shots for the next round. And if you have the Don card on your board, you can discard up to 5 cards from your hand and redraw. After each player's turn, every player must have an active family card on their board and 5 cards in their hand. So let's talk about what happens if you get targeted. If you have a Take Cover or I Was Lucky card, you can play this card to avoid the hit. If not, your family man or consigliere are killed. They only have 1 life point. If your Don was the target and you cannot defend the hit, it takes 2 shots at one time to kill him. Any family card lost to a hit requires an orange to be flipped over. Remember on the reset, I said that you must have a family card on your board? Well, if you lost your last card in a hit, you would place a family man on the board at this time. Now let's look at it from the other point of view. Your family man does the hit and it is successful. He is now promoted to the Don if you do not already have one on your board. Simply swap out the Don card for the family man. Play continues in this fashion as each player tries to eliminate the other families. Then, as you can guess by the title, the last family with an orange is crowned the winner and is the last family standing. During the game, other cards can allow you to add family members to your board. Never more than 2 active family members at a time, though. The cards can also allow you to regain health, double the attack value, target more than 1 player, draw cards, etc., etc. If you get your consigliere on the board, you can protect your Don. He will take the hit meant for the Don to save his Don. You can offer your Rose as an alliance to any other player. While they have your Rose, or vice versa, you cannot attack each other. There is also a card that forces an alliance as well. The cards in the hit card deck are very thematic. They feel like they came straight from the movies themselves. They feature names like Leave the Gun, Take the Cannoli, Just When I Thought I Was Out, An Offer You Can't Refuse, Go to the Mattresses, and You Broke My Heart. Replayability. Being a card game that is a pool of cards that are shuffled, it carries a very high replayability right out of the box. Components. The Godfather Last Family Standing consists mainly of a deck of cards. This deck is a bit on the cheap side, considering that it is a mass market game by Spin Master Limited. The cardboard chits for the life markers and the extra shots are typical chipboard. The player boards are the same. Then there are the rose clips. These are extremely overproduced. They are a nice plastic, each rose is a different color, but they are all attached to the same stem with a clip. The clip is there for you to clip your rose to a player's board for an alliance. Why would you do this? I don't know. These could have just been cardboard chits like the health and extra shot tokens. Also, I have seen these rarely used, with exception to the Offer They Can't Refuse card, where you can force an alliance. They just seem out of place for an otherwise pretty standard low-tier game. I also want to mention that the box insert that comes with the game does not work well. Again, all the money for this game must have been spent on gaining the IP for The Godfather. Lunchtime potential. The box and its BGG page lists the game time as 30 minutes. I would agree with that at a lower player count. However, at higher player counts, this could easily stretch to 45 minutes. With it being a player elimination style game, once a coworker is eliminated, there is not much to do except watch and trash talk. This can get irritating. Again, this will only happen at higher player counts. All this considered, The Godfather Last Family Standing will easily fit inside a lunch hour. Artwork. The artwork by Matt Edwards fits the look of The Godfather, but it tries a little too hard to be modernized. I think that the art on the player board is great. The graphic design works fantastically as well. The orange and extra shot tokens look decent. However, it is in the cards that I find fault with the artwork. Each family has the exact same starting cards. Each Don is Don Corleone. Each consigliere is the same. Each family has 2 family man cards that have the same picture on them. Yet the consigliere is not Tom Hagen. One of the family man cards looks a lot like Robert Duvall, but it is not considered the consigliere. The other family man card features another generic looking mafia character. Why? Why not have the characters from the movies? Why does each family have the exact same cards? Could it have been the cost? If you could afford the Godfather IP, you should have secured more characters. This game takes place during the Vito Corleone era, I'm guessing, since Marlon Brando's iconic take on the character is everywhere in the game, so that's the 1940s. Many of the cards feature characters that would not have been part of the Mafia, or at least not that high up. The card artwork looks great, but it just doesn't have the feel of the 1940s The Godfather. It is more refined like the 50s and 60s. That's all. Other. There are no expansions or other for this game at this time. Bang for the buck. The MSRP is $19.99 at Target. It is a Target exclusive at this time. It was on sale when I bought it, and it was on sale at the time I wrote and recorded this episode. Yet, even for $20, it is worth it. It is a bit rules heavy to learn, but it is easy enough to teach. It moves quickly, and it will see a lot of playing time in my household and my office. I am sure of that. Summary. The Godfather Last Family Standing is still a relatively new and unknown game. It currently has 15 ratings on BoardGameGeek. That's not even enough to generate a full score. It may sound like I was unhappy with this game, but it was actually a lot of fun. I just felt that they missed the mark on a lot of things. The game's theme fits well with the mechanics. It does not feel like it was pasted on. Yet, Spin Masters Limited seemed to have skimped on taking the production of this simple card game to the next level. As a fan of Francis Ford Coppola and Mario Puzo's fantastic series of books and movies, The Godfather Last Family Standing scratches the itch to play a Godfather game when I'm unable to play Corleone's Empire. Last Family Standing also offers some interesting situations at work. Who do you knock off? With who do you ally yourself? Who can you make an offer you can't refuse? This can create some fun head games with your coworkers. As usual, you can reach out to me on my website, eatlunchandboardgame.com, eatlunchandboardgame@gmail.com. Click over and leave a comment at podandpage.com/eatlunchandboardgame. And remember, board games build bridges. When you're gaming, why not be comfy? Go over to supportplayer.org. Click on the cards, pieces, and dice to get some merch. These t-shirts are some of the most comfortable I have ever worn. That's supportplayer.org, and there's a link on eatlunchandboardgame.com.